How Freen protects Becky. The tender moments fans can't stop replaying. Thorough, a love language called protection. In the glittering, fast-moving world of Thai entertainment, where every smile is recorded and every gesture is analyzed, few bonds feel as genuine as Freen Sorocha and Becky Armstrong's. They started as co-stars, two rising actresses cast in Gap, the series, yet what blossomed on and off screen went far beyond scripted chemistry. To fans, it wasn't just acting. It was something real. Something that couldn't be faked. And if you've watched closely enough, you've noticed Freen's love language isn't loud or performative. It's protection. Protection in glances. Protection in gestures. Protection in silence. Because sometimes love doesn't shout. It shields. The eyes that always find her. At press events, award shows, or even fan meets, Freen's eyes always seem to find Becky. Even when surrounded by flashing cameras and screaming fans, her attention drifts, instinctively, toward one person. When Becky laughs, Freen looks over. When Becky speaks, Freen listens. When Becky seems overwhelmed, Freen steps just a little closer. No words, no signals, just pure awareness. Fans often say, it's like Freen has a sixth sense for Becky. And they're not wrong. There was a moment during a live event where the crowd became too loud, and Becky visibly flinched. Without hesitation, Freen reached over, gently rubbed her back, and whispered something softly. Becky nodded, smiled faintly, and instantly relaxed. That moment, barely 5 seconds long, went viral. To fans, it wasn't just an act of kindness. It was proof of unspoken understanding. The famous protective hand. One of the most replayed moments in Freen-Becky history happened unexpectedly. During a red carpet event, a photographer's camera light suddenly flashed too brightly, directly into Becky's eyes. Before anyone could react, Freen instinctively lifted her hand, shielding Becky's face. No script, no hesitation, just reflex. Even Becky looked surprised for a split second before her eyes softened. It was the kind of moment that said more than 1,000 words could. That clip now lives in fan edits with captions like, "Find someone who protects you like Freen protects Becky." It's replayed, re-edit, and reposted every few months, because it never loses its emotional punch. Words that speak without saying much. Freen doesn't talk about her emotions often, but her actions fill the silence. During interviews, she subtly glances at Becky before answering, as if silently checking, "Are you okay with this?" And when Becky gets nervous or shy, Freen either jokes to ease the tension or softly nudges her to remind her she's not alone. It's small, almost invisible to the untrained eye. But to fans who have watched them for years, it's Freen's way of saying, "I'll always have your back." It's care disguised as calm. Affection disguised as professionalism. And that's what makes it so powerful. The Freen-Becky, soft power love. Among fans, there's a phrase that perfectly captures them. Soft power love. Because their connection doesn't need fireworks or grand confessions. It's in Freen's protective hand. In Becky's trusting smile. In the quiet, unspoken comfort they bring to each other's presence. When Freen helps Becky off stage, or steadies her when she trips, or shields her from a crowd, fans don't just see two celebrities. They see a bond that feels safe. TikTok edits of those tiny gestures have reached millions of views, set to emotional songs, captions reading things like, "This is what love looks like when it's gentle." Their chemistry became a mirror for something rare in entertainment. Love that doesn't scream for attention. Simply exists beautifully and effortlessly. When protection becomes comfort. Protection isn't just about standing in front of someone. Sometimes it's about standing beside them. During an interview once, Becky's voice trembled as she spoke about her journey. Before anyone could react, Freen gently reached out, placing her hand over Becky's. Becky didn't look up, she didn't need to. That touch was enough. That clip spread across fandoms with captions like, "When words fail, Freen's touch speaks." And it's true, sometimes love doesn't need to be loud. Just needs to be there when it matters most. Fans know the difference. People often say it's all just acting, but fans disagree. Because acting ends when the director says cut. But Freen and Becky's tenderness. It continues. Backstage, between takes, during flights, and in casual live sessions. They don't perform for the camera. They just are. As one fan wrote on X. Maybe they'll never say it out loud, but their actions are louder than any confession. What they teach us about love. Beyond fandom, Freen and Becky's relationship, whatever its label, represents something deeper. Teaches that love can be quiet and still strong. That care is a language. And that sometimes the most beautiful love stories are written not in words, but in the pauses between them. They remind people that the truest connection doesn't come from grand gestures, but from small moments. The way Freen waits for Becky to finish her sentences. Or how Becky instinctively leans closer when Freen speaks. That's love. Unannounced, unfiltered, unforgettable. Ending. Love that feels safe. Maybe that's why fans love Freen and Becky so deeply. Because in them we see what safety looks like. Not the fairy tale kind of love with fireworks and castles, but the real kind. Where someone notices when you're tired, stands between you and chaos, and makes sure you're never alone. That's how Freen protects Becky. And maybe that's how Becky loves her back. Quietly, endlessly, and without needing to say a single word.